This week's a little different. We've got a hay day video during the day. We just ran out of hay last night during the night, and we just brought in this nice big 4x5 first cutting, brought to you by our good friend Christine Barnes, who is a volunteer here also at the farm. She just was here recently, spending lots of time with these buggers, and they're all doing pretty well. We've got this week sponsored and next week sponsored, and the farms around us in upstate New York are actually starting to make their first cutting hay finally, already I should say. So we're going to be replenishing our, we do a year buy so we don't run out, and we could definitely use some sponsors if anybody is willing and able to. Of course, you don't have to. It's always a huge help just to have you share our posts, our cute ones, and trying to pick up more followers that are lovers of rescue animals, and increase our exposure, because we definitely know there's a million more people out there that love these little minis and these standards and these mammoths and this mule that we have, who is just an absolute heartbreaker for everybody who comes and has to leave. Right, Big Al? Big fan favorite. It's really sunny out today. All of our trees, except for that one maple that the donkeys ate, have developed all their leaves, and we're starting to finally dry out. We got a couple areas that are still a little wet, but our dry lot is mostly a sand clay mix, which mimics the desert the best we can in upstate New York. And when it's wet, it's real wet. You can see the ruts here from bringing equipment in, but due to your hay sponsorship, we've been able to start our new walking path for the donkeys and Albert. We excavated down about 4 inches, and we have a fine rubble stone dust mix we're trying out to give them some better footing. So we've put about half of it in. We're going to let them pack it down for us for a couple days, and then we're going to lay more. We're going to go all the way over here to Teddy's area, and then right through the gate. And then if we have enough material left, we're going to start a secondary path on the other side of the scratching post here that goes right up through there, because the clay is great when it's dry, it's terrible when it's wet. As you can see, all these hoof prints, and total mess. So trying to find ways for a permanent dry footing for them. The grass is growing in our around our pond, which always grows. So part 2 of our hay day video, since we ran out of storage unexpectedly. It's now the evening. I swallowed a bug, so that's fun. Anyway, as the video earlier stopped, we were on our way over to see Ivan. He has a big abscess blowout in his foot, his right foot there, so he's been on a little bit of painkiller for a couple days, and he seems to be doing well. Got it all cleaned out, didn't really smell awful or anything. He may have a crack on the side of his hoof. He's so sensitive, we're not really able to touch it right now. Hey, good boy. But it looks like right there, there's a line. Might be another abscess. So these old timers really struggling to get their foot health in order, but we're getting there. So he's in good spirits. He's happily eating his food. We were saying our paddock is dried out. It's becoming much more like desert, like we try for. And I think that's Autumn showing us how happy she is. Yep. Have to have a little dusty sand. It's hard to believe how it gets so rutted and mucked up when it's wet, and how dry it gets when it's dry. We scraped the top layer of any of the winter's poo off, and you always want to get that organic layer off. It's better for their feet, better for the drying of the ground, everything else. So helps the dry lot stay a dry lot. There is a spring right here, of course, and then there's another spring right there that we put a whole truckload of stone down in for last year, and I think that just went to the Netherlands of mud. That happened. So like I said, we started working on our amended walking path for them. We excavated that down and got to a nice firm clay base, and then started filling with the fine rubble stone dust mix that we have. And we're about halfway full of that, and we're letting them pack it down for a couple days with their hoofs, and we're going to put another layer on that. You can see everybody is still eating the hay that Christine Barnes sponsored this week and next week. These things that we can ask your help with is spreading the word on our farm. Probably these hay videos aren't the best thing to share, but maybe some of the cute ones that we have. Make sure to check us out on Instagram too. Still can't figure out how to get our funny reels pushed over to Facebook, where they show up on our page. They just will only go to suggested reels, so I don't know if you guys ever see those, but we've done some funny ones. And we've got our YouTube page. I'm trying to build our subscriber base there because we're really late to the party, and it seems to be the best avenue to host longer videos, so we're doing that. So if you can subscribe to us on YouTube, that's a huge help, even if you watch us on the other socials. We'll see what Autumn's up to here. She is really bold. She likes to eat the weeds along the fence line. It is charged, but she sticks her head under anyway. So she's a goofball. We had this whole paddock clean this morning. Of course they refilled it. What's that, Teddy? As Christine tells us, that's job security, them refilling the poop buckets and areas. So yeah, so thank you, Christine, and everyone else who helped support us this year with hay bales and gifts and everything else. The outpouring of support has been amazing. Pieces behind the scenes, plus feed, plus medicine. We're getting ready to do worming again. So, you know, donkeys are expensive, so if you're ever thinking about getting them, reach out to us. We'll break out the costs of what they each animal costs per year. And if I'm not mistaken, I did see a study that was done recently, and I think the total was like $40,000 per animal for their entire life from birth to death, with a long living horse or donkey. And that's based on hoof care, housing, vaccinations, worming, food, veterinary care, blah blah blah. So they do add up over time, and every little bit helps every rescue that you, I'm sure, follow, because I'm sure we're not the only ones out there. But yeah, so the farms around us are making first cutting, which is crazy early for us this year in New York. So we've got a little bit more of our annual hay buy coming in, and then we're going to be already into this year's, the 2024 hay. We have to buy a bale a week, and luckily we have a hay supplier that lets us pre-buy when he cuts it, and he stores it and he brings it to us in amounts that we can handle. So that's really helpful, because we don't have a hay barn for round bales. We never intended to have this many, and life just happens. So we do, and we switch to the round bales, and they are really, really hard to store. So we feel really blessed that we've got a supplier that brings them to us, and also stores them for us. Hi, Autumn. Miss Autumn here almost knocked me over earlier. She rubbed against me so hard. Good girl. We do have some vaccination slots open. We've got that scheduled for next month. My mind escapes me here on who is still left. Surprisingly, Albert was still left. I know that. Those vaccinations are, I believe it was the 5-way vaccination plus a physical exam and a dental exam. That's really important for their health, obviously, and we do that every year. So that's a huge huge extra for us. Thank you for those who have helped us. And this was a little bit of a test area for the stone that we didn't excavate down. We did earlier this spring. We got down to a nice clay layer, and as you can see, there's a spring right there, and that's why that's discolored from when I drove in with the hay skid steer today. And that is why our property is so wet, because we have springs everywhere. We're on an aquifer here, and we have clay soil, so it's a constant struggle. Hello. Oh. So Autumn does drive-bys, just slams right into you. That's how she shows her affection. So if you ever come here, you're not going to leave clean, because they love to roll in all the dirt, and then when the visitors come, guess what? It gets on them too. So your hands always end up a little dirty. So if you're ever going to visit a donkey, just be prepared. They are animals. But yeah, it's really hot today. We put some electrolytes in the water. We've got our ultra fountain over here. Becky's showing us how that works. It's an endless supply. Hello, how are you? Hello, hello. As they drink it, it refills itself. Really excellent tool if you have the ability to get one. Always guarantees that they have cold water, which is really crucial in the hot weather. They can't run out, and it does have a heating element for the winter time, so it won't freeze either. If you have questions on that, we have some videos on our YouTube page on training, because they had to learn how to use it. So anyway, there's your weekly update, and we've got a million other little videos. We're overloading you with content right now because it's happening. It's spring, there's so much going on around the farm, and we want to share it with you. So thank you everybody for all your support. We so appreciate you, and we'll keep you updated on our boy Ivan here and everything else that's going on. Have a great day. Thank you, Christine.